find test series in physics, chemistry, biology and NEET full test. Now let me click on grade 11. Here you find lot of colored bubbles. Each bubble is a test. The green bubble indicates that you have completed the test, but you can revisit the test any number of times you want till you are perfect and get all the questions right. Blue bubble indicates that you have not taken the test yet. Now yellow bubble shows that you have not completed the test. You might have started with the test with 3 students and realized you are not so this yellow test in the yellow bubble will indicate that you need to take the test again. And if you look at it, the tests are all changed. The number of tests depends upon the complexity of the textbook and also its importance in the NEET examination. And here you find the red bubble, which is a randomized test. So if you want to have a quick revision, you can just go to this, wherein all the tests, the questions are randomly asked so that you can ensure that all your concepts right. Now I hope you have got to know how to navigate through the website. In today's class, I will be revising key concepts, do a practice test based on concepts learned, and last 5 minutes I shall keep it for answering your questions. Now I'm sure NEET is around the corner. You must be thinking, what are the kinds of questions that would come up in the examination? Based on our analysis of the previous year's question papers, we realize that there are 3 types of questions. One is NCERT based. Approximately 68 to 70 questions are asked directly from the textbook. They can be attempted easily by those who read NEET syllabus religiously, NCERT and NEET syllabus religiously. Direct from the previous question papers, if you see, another 8 to 10 questions will feature in. And if you have solved NEET question papers of previous years, they will help you immensely because these questions are repeated with little or no modification. And last 8 to 10 questions are modified questions, and these will be totally new in the NEET. And these become the game changer for those, as these can't be solved by mere mugging up of facts. Though they are from NCERT book, to get them right, you need to apply the knowledge that you have about the subject. So in this website, we have made an earnest attempt to help you to prepare adequately for your NEET. I hope now you got the framework of NEET. Now let us begin the lesson. If you go up and click on this bubble, you will get a NEET revision notes. And these revision notes are done in such a way that it captures the essence of 11th and 12th. And it is very easy, and it has just got 135 pages, and it will really help you to revise very quickly so that you don't have to waste time. And by looking at this, you can be easily preparing. I would always suggest that it's an asset for your studies. Now, let's look into body fluids and circulation. It consists mainly of circulatory system. Circulatory system circulates some extracellular fluid to different parts of the body. The circulating fluid transports nutrients, waste products, respiratory gases, metabolic intermediates, and informational molecules between different tissues and organs. It also distributes water, hydrogen ions, chemicals, and heat uniformly all over the body. Now, before getting into the other aspects, let us look into the kind of hearts that are seen in different kinds of animals. That is very important because in NEET exams they have asked. Now, if you look, I only looked at the vertebrate heart. Pisces, the number of chambers in the heart are 2. It has got 1 atrium and 1 ventricle. So it is venous heart and it is myogenic, and that circulation is called single circuit circulation. If you look at amphibians, they have got 3 chambers, 2 atria and 1 ventricle. It is incomplete and it is myogenic because there is a mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood in the ventricle. It is called incomplete circulation, and again it is a double circuit circulation. In reptiles, it is 3.5 because ventricle is incompletely divided, except in crocodile where the ventricles are divided into 2 completely. Again, this is an incomplete heart and a myogenic heart. Circulation type is double circuit circulation. Now in apes, there are 4 chambers. It is complete and myogenic. Again, it is a double circuit circulation is seen. And in mammals, you find 4 chambers. It is complete and myogenic, and it is a double circuit circulation. Now let us look into the blood. You know, blood is the most commonly used fluid by most of the organisms, including humans, for this purpose, and lymph is of certain substances. Now let us look at the composition of the blood. Blood is a special connective tissue plasma form. Plasma is colored fluid constituting about 55% of the blood. It contains fibrinogen, globulins, albumin, small amount of minerals like sodium ion, calcium, magnesium, bicarbonates, chlorides, glucose, amino acids, lipids, etc. Formed elements in the blood are erythrocytes, leukocytes, and platelets, which makes up about 45% of the blood. And this diagram is very important. They might ask you to identify the kind of the cells. What are the formed elements by showing it as A, B, C, and D. So you will learn this diagram thoroughly. Now let us look into the components head here. Now erythrocytes. So plasma, let us look at plasma. Now formed elements in the blood are erythrocytes, leukocytes, and platelets. Erythrocytes are the red blood cells. They are formed in the red bone marrow in the adults. RBCs are devoid of nucleus and are biconcave in shape. RBCs are formed in red bone marrow. A healthy person has 12 to 16 grams of hemoglobin in every 100 ml of blood. RBCs have an average lifespan of 120 days, after which they are destroyed in the spleen. Now, if you look at leukocytes, they are also known as white blood cells. They are nucleated and are lesser in number, and they average to 6,000 to 8,000 millimeter per cubic millimeter of the blood. They are generally short-lived, and there are two types of WBCs, agranulocytes and granulocytes. Thrombocytes, if you look, blood platelets are also called thrombocytes, and they are the cell fragments produced from megakaryocytes, which are special cells in the bone marrow. Blood normally contains about 1.5 lakhs to 3.5 lakh platelets per cubic millimeter. It can release a variety of substance, most of which are involved in coagulation or clotting of blood. A reduction in their number can result in clotting disorders, which will lead to excessive loss of blood from the body. Now, as I said, blood has got granulocytes and agranulocytes. Now, let us look at agranulocytes. You have monocytes. Monocytes are phagocytic cells which destroy foreign organisms entering the body. Lymphocytes are of two types, namely B form and T form. B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes are responsible for immune response of the body. Granulocytes, if you look at granulocytes, you have neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils. Neutrophils are the most abundant cells of the total WBCs, and they are phagocytic in action. Eosinophils resist infections and are associated with allergic reactions. Basophils are the least, and they secrete histamine, serotonin, heparin, and are involved in inflammatory reactions. Now let us look at the blood groups. Now blood grouping is very, very important. You know that so, in human bloods, there are two types of blood groups, ABO group and RH factor, which are widely used all over the world. ABO blood group is based on the presence or absence of two surface antigens on the RBCs, that is A and B. Plasma also contains two natural antibodies. Now, if you consider blood group A, the antigen present on its RBC is A. Antibody will be anti-B in the plasma, and it can donate blood to A group and O group. It can donors group is, it can get A, it can receive blood from A, and it can receive the blood from O, but it can donate only to A and AB. Now, if you look at blood group B, the antigens present on its RBCs are B, antibodies are anti-A, it can receive blood from B and O. AB, it has got both antigens A and B. There are no antibodies in the plasma, therefore it is a universal recipient. It can receive blood from A, B, and O. Now O, if you look at it, antigens on the RBC are nil. Antibodies, it has got both antibody A and antibody B. Therefore, it is a universal donor, and it can receive blood only from the O group. Now, Let us look into the RH grouping. So you must have heard of people saying that I have RH positive, RH negative grouping. And what is this RH grouping? RH antigen is similar to present in the rhesus monkey, and it is also observed on the surface of RBCs about 80% of the humans. Such persons are called as RH positive, and those in whose antigen is lacking are called RH negative. RH group should be matched before transfusion. An Rh negative person, if he is exposed to Rh positive blood, will form specific antibodies against the Rh antigens. Rh antigen negative blood of a pregnant mother does not mix with Rh positive antigens of the fetus in the first pregnancy, as two bloods will be separated by the placenta. But however, during delivery of the first child, maternal blood may be exposed with Rh positive blood of the fetus. In such case, the mother will start preparing antibodies against Rh antigen in her blood. In case of further pregnancy, anti-Rh antibodies of the mother can leak into the blood of the fetus, which is Rh positive, and destroy the fetal RBC. This could be fatal, and this condition is called erythroblastosis fetalis, or generally you call it as blue baby syndrome. And this can be avoided by administering anti-Rh antibodies to the mother immediately after the delivery of the first child. Now this is about the thing. Next, it is the blood clotting or the coagulation of the blood. In an injured or cut site, a clot or coagulation is formed mainly of a network of threads called fibrin, in which dead and damaged formed elements of blood are trapped. Fibrins are formed by the conversion of inactive fibrinogen in the plasma by the enzyme thrombin. Thrombins are formed from prothrombin, and enzyme thrombokinase is required for this reaction. Coagulation of blood occurs by a series of linked enzyme reaction. It is like a cascade process involving a number of factors present in plasma. Calcium ions play a very important role in clotting. So this is the pathway, and here you find it. There is a lot of things getting in. Nearly 13 factors are involved. If any one factor is less, then it will hamper the clotting process. Now let us look into lymph. The fluid collected between the spaces between the cells of the tissue is called lymph or interstitial fluid or tissue fluid. Lymph contains water and the same mineral contents as in the plasma. The network of vessels called lymphatic system will collect this fluid and drains it back to the major veins. Lymph is a colorless fluid containing special lymphocytes responsible for the immune response of the body. Now, if you look at the functions of the lymph, it helps in the exchange of nutrients, gases, hormones. It is also responsible for the immune responses in the body, as it contains lymphocytes and antibodies. Fats are absorbed through lymph in the lacteals present in the intestinal villi. Now let us look into the circulatory system. In higher and multicellular organisms, there is no direct supply of the useful materials and removal of waste from the body cells. So they and this is called the circulatory system. Circulatory system are generally of two types, open and closed. In open circulatory system, blood pumped by the heart passes through the large vessels into the open space or the body cavities called sinuses. This system is found in leeches, among the annelids, cockroach, prawn, insects, spiders, starfish, etc. Blood flows very slow with a very slow velocity and at low pressure. In cockroach, blood circulation is completed in 5 to 6 minutes. Closed circulatory system is the system wherein the blood pumped by the heart is always circulated through a closed network of blood vessels. This is found in earthworm, nereis, mollusks, and all the vertebrates. Now let us look at the human circulatory system. The blood vascular system transports nutrients like glucose, fatty acids, vitamins, etc. from the site of absorption to the different parts of the body. It transports nitrogenous waste like ammonia, urea, uric acid, etc. from different parts of the body to the organ of excretion. It transports hormone from the endocrine glands to the target organs. It transports water and other chemical substances all over the body. It transports oxygen to different cells and tissues of the body and from the lungs. Blood vascular system consists of three components: heart, blood vessels, and blood. Now let us look at the blood vessels. So this is the artery, vein and capillaries are the blood vessels. Thick walled blood vessels carry the arteries are thick walled. They carry the blood away from the heart to various parts, deeply seated in the body, and they have no valves in them. They carry oxygenated blood in them except the pulmonary artery, which carries deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Blood flows at high pressure with high speed. Now if you look at the veins, they are thin walled blood vessels. They carry blood away from various body parts to the heart. They are superficial in position and have valves in them to prevent the backflow of blood in them. The blood flows at low pressure with slow speed. They carry deoxygenated blood in them except the pulmonary vein, which carries oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart. Capillaries are the thinnest blood vessels and they connect arteries to the veins. Each capillary is lined by a single layer of flat cells. These help in exchange of materials like nutrients, gases, waste products, etc. between the blood and the cells. Now let us look at the structure of the human heart. This is very, very important. You need to learn all the parts properly so that whatever they ask you to identify or associate with the function, you should be able to do it. Now, human heart is thick, muscular, automatic, pulsating and contractile organ. Now, if you look at the human heart, it is four-chambered. It has got two atria or the auricles, which are the upper chambers, and two ventricles or the lower chambers. A nodal tissue is also distributed in the heart. A patch of nodal tissue is present in the right upper corner of the right atrium called the sinoatrial node. Another mass of this tissue is present in the lower left corner of the right atrium close to the atrioventricular septum called atrioventricular node or AVN. A bundle of nodal fibers AVN continues from the AV node continues from AVN and it divides into right and left bundle. These branches will give to minute fibers called Purkinje fibers. These fibers along with right and left bundles are known as bundle of His. The nodal musculature is auto-excitable. SAN can generate maximum number of potentials, that is 70 to 75 per minute, and it is responsible for rhythmic contractile activity of the heart. Therefore, it is called the pacemaker. Human heart will beat about 70 to 75 times per minute. Now, I have given you a gross description of the heart. It has got two major veins. One is called as the precaval or the superior vena cava. Postcaval are the inferior vena cava, which will open into the right atrium. Now let us look into each of the parts. That is right auricle. It receives deoxygenated blood from superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Right auricle opens in the right ventricle through auriculoventricular aperture, which is guarded by tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve regulates unidirectional flow of blood from right atrium to right ventricle. Right ventricle gives off a large blood vessel called pulmonary artery leading to the lungs, which carries deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Left auricle receives oxygenated blood from the lungs to pulmonary veins. They have no valve. Left auricle opens in the left ventricle by an aperture called auriculoventricular aperture. And this aperture is guarded by bicuspid valve. Bicuspid valve prevents backflow of blood from left auricle to left ventricle. Now, if you look at left ventricle, it gives off a large blood vessel called the aorta. It carries oxygenated blood to different parts of the body. The thickest part of the human heart is the wall of the left ventricle. Now, if you look at this is the structure of the heart. As I said, you need to know all the terms that are associated with it and also the location and the function. Now, before getting back to the cardiac cycle, let us see some distinctions we need to learn from knee point of view, SCA node versus AV node. If you look at the position of SCA node, it is in the right atrium near the opening of the superior vena cava. AV node is in the right atrium near the base of the interauricular septum. it has maximum rhythmicity, SEA node, but this has got less rhythmicity. SEA node is stimulated by cardiac centers present in the medulla oblongata. AV node is stimulated by cardiac impulses started by SEA node. SEA node acts as a pacemaker and AV node acts as a pace setter. Now between tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve, tricuspid valve is present between right atrium and right ventricle. Bicuspid valve is present between left atrium and left ventricle. Tricuspid valve forms two sizes. Bicuspid valve is made up of the from left ventricle to left auricle. So with this heart, let us get back to cardiac cycle. Now in the beginning, all the four chambers of the heart, if you look at it, are in a relaxed state, that is joint diastole. The bicuspid and tricuspid valves open and blood from pulmonary veins and vena cava flow into the left and the right ventricle respectively through the left area. SAN now generates action potential leading to atrial systole. The action potential is conducted to the ventricle side by the AVN and AV bundle, from where it transmits to the entire ventricular musculature. This leads to ventricular systole, which increases the ventricular pressure, causing the closure of tricuspid and bicuspid valves. The ventricles now relax, that is called ventricular diastole, and ventricular pressure falls, causing the closure of semilunar valves, which prevents the backflow of blood into the ventricles. Ventricles and the atria as earlier. SAN again generates a new action potential and events are repeated in sequence and the process continues. This sequential event in heart is called cardiac cycle and it consists of systole and diastole of both atria and ventricles. Many such cardiac cycles are performed per minute. Now the next concept you have to learn is cardiac output. So cardiac output means it's during a cardiac cycle, each ventricle pumps out about 70 ml of blood and that is called as the stroke volume. Stroke volume multiplied by the heart rate gives the cardiac output. Cardiac output is the volume of blood pumped out of each ventricle per minute and it averages to 5000 ml or 5 liters in a healthy individual. Cardiac output of an athlete is much higher than an ordinary man. Heart sound is associated with the closure of the tricuspid and bicuspid valves, whereas the second heart sound is associated with the closure of the semilunar valves. And these sounds are of clinical significance. Now let us look at the ECG. That is a very important concept. This interpretation of ECG, they might ask you to identify. This is also very, very important. It is a graphical representation of electrical activity of the heart during a cardiac cycle. The machine that is used to obtain this graph is called electrocardiograph. The P wave in ECG represents the electrical excitation or depolarization of the atria, which leads to the contraction of both the atria. This QRS complex represents the depolarization of the ventricles, which initiates the ventricular contraction. Contraction starts shortly after Q and marks the beginning of the systole. The T wave represents the return of the ventricles from excited to normal state, that is repolarization. The end of the T wave marks the end of the systole. By counting the QRS complex, the idea of number of heartbeats per minute can be obtained. Any deviation from this shape indicates an abnormality. So if you look at double circulation, this is very, very important. The blood pumped by the right ventricle enters the pulmonary artery, whereas the left ventricle pumps blood into the aorta. The deoxygenated blood pumped into the pulmonary artery is passed on to the lungs, from where the oxygenated blood is carried by the pulmonary circulation, and this pathway is called as pulmonary circulation. Oxygenated blood entering the aorta is carried by a network of arteries, arterioles, and released to the ratio, from where the deoxygenated blood is collected by a system of venules, veins, and vena cava and emptied into the right atrium. This is systemic circulation, which provides nutrients, oxygen, and other essential substances to the tissue and takes carbon dioxide and other harmful substances for elimination. A connection is also seen between digestive tract and liver, and it is called as the hepatic portal system. Hepatic vein carries blood from the intestine to the liver before it is delivered to the systemic circulation. Now, cardiac activity is also regulated. And let us know something about the regulation of the cardiac activity. Heart is myogenic because it is auto-regulated by specialized cells. The medulla oblongata regulates the cardiac function through autonomic nervous system. Neural signals through the sympathetic nerves can increase the rate of heartbeat, the strength of ventricular contraction, and thereby cardiac output. The parasympathetic neural signals decrease the rate of heartbeat, speed of conduction of heart action potential, and thereby the cardiac output. Adrenal medullary hormones also increase the cardiac output. So that is why when there is an adrenal secretion, your heartbeat starts increasing. Now let us look last into the disorders of the circulatory system. High blood pressure. If a person has persistent high blood pressure, then it is called hypertension. It is 150 by 90 per mm of mercury. Actual pressure will be 120 by 80 mm of mercury. Any deviation seen above this range continuously, then if it is on the higher side, it is hypertension. The factors responsible are overeating, fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, etc. Hypertension is a condition of low blood pressure, and if you have persistently below 100 by 50 mm of mercury. Coronary heart diseases, it's also called as atherosclerosis. It affects the blood vessels caused by deposition of calcium, fat, cholesterol, and fibrous tissue, which makes the lumen of the arteries narrower. Angina pectoris is a symptom of acute chest pain where no oxygen reaches the heart muscles. It is more common in middle-aged and elderly and affects the blood flow. Heart failure is a state in which heart is not pumping enough blood to meet the body demands. It is also called congestive heart failure because of congestion of lungs. Heart failure is different from cardiac arrest. In cardiac arrest, heart stops beating, or a heart attack when the heart muscle is suddenly damaged by an inadequate blood supply. So with this, we are completing the concepts that needs to be covered in this lesson. Now let us look into the test. Now, what are A and B in the order? What does the loop part represent? So, these diagrams are very, very important. If you look at it, it is pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein, and pulmonary circulation. So, pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein, and pulmonary circulation. What are C and D in order? What does the looped part indicate? So this is the looped part that what does it indicate? Here it is dorsal aorta, vena cava, and systemic circulation. What are E, F, and G in the order? So E is going to be, it is a vein. So it is vein, capillary, artery. Now, a thin muscular wall called dash separates the right and left atria, whereas thick-walled head separates the right and left ventricles. Atrium and ventricle of the same side are also separated by thick fibrous tissue called. So, what do they call it as interatrial septum, interventricular septum. So interatrial septum, interventricular septum, atrioventricular septum. Macrophages in the connective tissue is called histiocytes. Which of the granulocytic cells have bilobed nucleus? Eosinophils. Which of the granulocytic cells contain cytoplasm stains with basic dye methylene blue? Basophils. Which primary lymphoid organs are the maturation site for lymphocytes? Lymph nodes and thymus and bone marrow. Now, okay, ninth question. Expand MHC and where is it located? It is major histocompatibility complex cluster of genes located on the short arm of the chromosome 6. Each peak in ECG is identified with a letter from P to T that corresponds to a specific electrical activity of the heart. The number of QRS complexes that occur in a given time period can seldom correlate with the heartbeat of an individual. Regarding 1 and 2. If you look at it, 1 is correct, but 2 is incorrect. Incorrect statement about double circulation. None of the above. All are correct. Regarding nodal musculature of heart, choose the incorrect statement. Node is called as the pacemaker. It is the pace setter. Sinoatrial node is the pacemaker. During cardiac cycle, atria undergoes relaxation coinciding with ventricular systole. During ventricular diastole, which is likely to happen? None of the above. Heartbeat 72 minutes per minute, yes. Duration of cardiac cycle is 0.08 seconds. No, it's 0.8. So it is 1 is correct, but 2 is incorrect. So I'm going to save the test and end the test. So all the questions are correct. We have answered everything correctly. If there was any incorrect question, then it would have shown in red. When I go and click there, I will be my answer and the correct answer will be displayed and there will be an explanation. If there is an yellow thing, that means you have not answered. Since it is negative correction, if you are not sure of the answer, you better leave. Otherwise, -1 mark will be subtracted from your total score. So, with this, we complete today's class. Now you need to look, if you look into our NEET packages, you'll find that we have got NEET full tests that are 38 in number. Here the full tests, 15 are original tests that is created by the tutors, taking into account different kinds of questions that could be asked in your NEET, and another 20 papers are from past NEET papers, and all these are totally solved. You can get even additional help by using our Ask feature on our site, and we also support chat group using Telegram. You can also book the slots for one-to-one tutoring if you need for any subject or for any particular chapter from any of the subject teachers. And for any inquiries, you can mail your query to info@classix.com. So this completes today's classes.